Riding along, head in the sky, spirit on high, knowing no care. Man of the prairie, body and grown, ready to go, fearing no foe everywhere. Daring bold with lots of go, we're always doing good. All for one and one for all, each one a Robin Hood. Man of the prairie, riding along. Man of the west, meeting his death, singing a song. Man of the prairie, riding along. Head in the sky, spirits on high, knowing no fear. Man of the prairie, hardy and strong, ready to go, fearing no foe everywhere. Daring bold with lots of gold, we're always doing good. All for one and one for all, each one a Robin Hood. Man of the prairie, riding along. Man of the west, meeting his best, singing a song. He don't sound so good here. On the account. Take them bags. Please don't take them. Now, Puma. Let me looking you over. I want to see maybe so there's somebody here I want to see. Ah, Senor Hank. Well, I told you before, you are interfering with my business. This time you can go, but the next time maybe you won't get off so lucky, huh? No! Well, Grandpapa, I hope you aren't hurt too much, eh?
Oh, no, it's only a flesh wound. So you're El Puma.
See?
I know you won't rob me.
Oh, I do not want you cold. But you made a great mistake in outrenting me and my men for the scourge across the desert when you got so much gold in these wagons. But you better go to town now. And to be sure these banditos do not come back, I will send some of my men with you.
Juan! Ramirez, Pedro! You take Grandpa to the town, huh? Ain't you going with me? I? Oh, no, senor. I must go with the tenderfeet for to dig up with dead Indians. Huh? What am I? I'm a tarantula's uncle. What did he mean, dig up a dead Indian?
Ever since my brother-in-law was killed down there, Sheriff, 6 long years I spent trying to get permission to excavate the Indian burial grounds for posterity and the knowledge of humanity. My equipment is very valuable. The treasures from the Indian tombs will be priceless. I demand the protection of responsible agents of the law. I will not trust the expedition to a desert cutthroat and his band.
But, Professor, you gave me no time to swear in extra deputies. Now you're in too much of an itch to shove off to wait till do. I wouldn't be too hasty about calling him a cutthroat. He saved a lot of men with a bigger stake than yours.
If El Puma were not trustworthy, the government would hardly have offered him the responsible position of law enforcement officer for the Badlands.
No, Miriam. If this romantic desert Robin Hood is so responsible, why doesn't he accept the offer?
He probably don't hanker to have no strings tied to him, mister. There's a lot of more of us like to be in the saddle with him.
Oh, stop this wrangling. Miriam, I brought you as my assistant because your father made the original discovery and because of your research into Indian knowledge and culture. From now on, you will confine your opinions to that department. And as for you, Mr. McCoy, you had no right to send for this El Puma without consulting me. The government sent you along to assist, not to manage my expedition.
And from now on, I'll supervise the protection of this party, just like I was sent to do. I ordered El Puma to escort us through the Badlands. According to the sheriff here, he knows every inch of it, and just how to deal with the thieving, murdering cutthroats that ride him. Of course, if you think we don't need him...
I remember that my brother-in-law was killed by one of the men of your department, Bill Carson.
That's a lie, you...
Hi.
Oh, excuse me, Miss Marion.
Magpie, please excuse Uncle Lucius. He's excitable and headstrong. Besides, we can't start wrangling the first day.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I just couldn't stand there listening to him slander the best pal I ever had. I don't care what your daddy's diary said. Bill Carson was a square shooter, and he wouldn't kill an old man.
Well, he must know he's wanted. If he's innocent, why doesn't he come out and defend himself?
He must have a good reason. That is, if he's still living. Besides, he wasn't the only man that was with your daddy that's missing.
No, there was Link Benson, the foreman, and some other diggers. But they were all hired by Carson, and he's the only one Dad had any trouble with.
Bill was only running the expedition just like he was supposed to.
Well, we won't discuss that. Tell me more about El Puma. He's fascinating.
Well, you'll be safe enough going part of the way alone. El Puma will meet you at Buzzard's Pass tomorrow afternoon. Now, I advise you to hire him to go along with you, till I can deputize some men and send them out to meet you.
Well, it's against my better judgment, but under those conditions, I'll do it. Goodbye, Sheriff.
Goodbye, Professor, and good luck.
Shall we start?
Immediately.
His men, they just drifted from everywhere. No one seems to know much about them, except that they live well. Seems like he gives the most of what he makes, protecting travelers.
That sounds like the Foreign Legion. I'm dying to meet him.
Oh, you will. They say that he's met every traveler in these parts in the last 6 years. I think he's gunning for someone.
Well, I'd hate to be the one he's looking for.
Me too.
We're leaving, Marion. Mr. Magpie, as long as we have to wait, we may as well pitch camp here for the night.
All right, man. Drive them over there and we'll get out these tents.
Come on, Rita.
Much obliged, Professor, for the handout. Anything I can do for you? We'll see. Perhaps you can check over my maps with me.
Or maybe clean up these pots and pans.
Oh, I can't do that, lady. I hurt my paw fighting bandits yesterday. See?
So you're a bandit fighter, too. Then you must know El Puma.
El Puma? I sure do. And if you'd asked me, I could tell you plenty about that hombre.
Yeah? For instance?
Enough to advise the professor here to hold his pockets when he's around. And I wouldn't be trusting him with my women folks, neither.
I don't believe it.
That'll be him now. To avoid his presuming any social contact with the rest of the party, Mr. Magpie, you'd better meet him and put him in his proper place.
Yes, sir.
You will help me with the maps now. Come, Dr. Leonard.
Coming, Marion?
Amigos, you will wait here. I will go talk with these tenderfeets.
You must take me to meet him.
Well, you just heard what he
Oh, he
said.
won't mind.
Wait. I'll be with you in a minute.
The name is Magpie, in charge of the escort.
I am called El Puma.
This is Miss,
Marion Willis is the name.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
how you can forget the name of such a lovely flower. She's so beautiful like the bloom of the cactus. El Puma is at the service of the senorita.
You must tell me something about yourself, who you are and where you come from. You see, I'm writing a book on the expedition.
Oh, no. It is against the rules from my band to talk about the service from my men, you know. We don't ask no questions. I don't ask them. They don't ask me.
But you could make just one little exception.
I can't find my papers. Where is that girl? Marion!
If you will look closely, you'll see her in the act of disobeying you.
Well, I'll put a stop to that immediately.
My people, they come from all over the world. You see that big fellow over the black horse?
Mm-hmm.
They're telling me he is a gaucho from the pampas of the Argentine. Maybe he is. Quien sabe, I don't know. I don't ask him. He don't ask me. You don't ask somebody some question, they don't tell you no lies, huh?
Marion, go to your tent.
Excuse me.
I gave you specific instructions for the leader of this escort, and they shall be carried out if I have to do it myself. Now leave us. You are with this expedition against my better judgment. Now, you will pitch your camp at a safe distance from ours, and refrain from mixing with the members of my party socially.
But, senor, I bring my men here many miles to come with you under contract to go into this Indian country.
You will be paid for your work, but you will be relieved of your duties when the sheriff and his men join us at Snake Wells.
But why, senor?
Our expedition is too important to be trusted to a gang of desert thugs. And I'd appreciate it if you'd stop speaking to my fiancée, Miss Marion.
Oh, you would.
That will be enough. Come, Dr. Leonard.
Oh, so you make the dead lines, huh? Well, El Puma can take the hint. You don't have to rub it in. You don't want something to do with me, eh? Well, I tell you, I am just so good for myself what you are. You mind your own business, I mind yours. Hey, you fellows, put that camper way far distance, where our chili beans and our frijoles won't get the dirt from this place in it. Huevo.
You know, you might show a little more consideration for me, Marion. You act as though you'd never been away from home before.
You're not to tell me how to act just because we're engaged. You and Uncle Lucius were insulting Del Pumo just because a filthy old man lied about it.
I believe him. Sometimes you and your childish notions about romance bore me.
You don't have to listen to them. Good night, Leonard. I'm tired now.
Good night, dear.
All right, amigos. Vamos.
Oh, hello.
Oh, I'm so sorry, senorita, but I think before you come into this camp next time, you're going to make the whistles, eh?
Well, I will next time. Put away that gun. It frightens me.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Won't you sit down? Ah, this desert night, that beautiful moon. I'm thinking you don't sleep so good, huh?
Exactly, and I'm dying to talk to someone who really appreciates all this.
Ah, see, I know. You know, this Professor Leonard, he's a pretty nice young fellow. A little bird is whispering in my ear today that maybe you're in love.
Well,
see, I understand. But you know, sometimes this course and this true love is not going to crooked.
Oh, it isn't that. I didn't like his attitude toward you. I hope you'll overlook it.
Oh, see, El Puma no care. And I'm thinking that before this expedition is over, maybe he'll be changing a little bit.
I hope so. Don't you ever get lonesome staying here on the desert all the time?
Lonesome? Maybe. For 6 years I've been on this desert. First, maybe I want to go back to my own people, but after a while I get to love him, and, well, I stay.
I wish you'd been here with my father. Then he may not have been killed.
Killed? Your father was... Oh, that is too bad. How did this happen?
Oh, it's a long story.
Well, we got no place to go.
Well, it began 7 years ago where Dad opened a temple of the ancient Indians. He found hieroglyphics on several vases, which when decoded told where they had hidden their gold.
So he come to these Badlands, eh?
Yes, but before they had time to locate the treasure, Bill Carson murdered him and stole everything they had found.
Well, what happens to this Bill Carson?
Oh, he disappeared along with the foreman and some of the other diggers. He had the same job Magpie has with us.
Oh. Well, maybe there is some mistake. It would not seem that this Americano government man would do this to his own kind of people.
It is hard to believe, but Dad's diary, the only thing he missed, told of several violent quarrels they had.
Mm-hmm.
Marion's not in her tent.
Look for her. I'll be right with you.
Right.
So Uncle Lucius had to bring me along. You see, I'm the only one that can translate the diary. Jerry!
Take your hands off of her.
Senorita, your friend only makes a joke.
Yeah? Well, I'll show you how much I'm joking. I'm going to teach you a little respect.
Don't worry, senorita. That Puma will not hurt you.
You will not be here to hurt anyone. And when the sheriff arrives, I shall report this assault. Also, that you and your men were not in camp for half an hour until Dr. Leonard's warrant was stolen.
Oh, but my men do not take these things.
Don't lie. I hate a sneak thief. Now get out and take that with you. Come, Marion.
Amigo, break the camp.
We'll
We will no longer stay with such peoples. They're ungrateful.
Not so fast, Humphrey. I got you covered. That mustache, that thick talk didn't fool me at all, Carson.
Senor, I think you are making a big mistake to try to hold up El Puma without first looking to see who's behind your back. Well, Magpie, you old ferret, I might have known I couldn't fool you.
No, but darn you just outsmarted me like you always done before.
You really didn't want to take me in, did you?
I ain't so sure. Since you made a fool out of me and stood me up defending you for the last 6 years, murder's a pretty serious charge, Bill. Even the boys in the Bureau begin to believe your card for not showing up and denying it.
I couldn't very well. Link Benson, the foreman of the diggers, is the fellow that killed Professor Willis. I knew he intended to rob him, but when I found the old man dead, Benson and his outfit had hightailed it in the night and put the finger on me.
But where'd he go?
That's what I've been trying to find out for 6 years. And when I learned the law was after me for what the old man wrote in his diary, I had to watch my step. I knew my only chance was to catch Benson, get a confession out of him, before the law caught up with me.
Well, what are you doing here? Why did you sign on with us?
Because I heard that Benson was in this part of the country operating with his gang. So I brought my men over, hired out as a guide to your expedition. I figured I'd run into him somewhere along the line.
You figure if he still got the vases, that he'll raid this expedition to find out what the Indian writing says?
What a brilliant detective you are, Magpie. Well, so long.
Don't you trust me?
I trust myself. I don't got to trust nobody.
You sure got that burner talk down, Pat, Bill.
Well, I ought to have. I've been doing it for 6 years.
You know, there's a big price on your head. And if you're lying to me, I'm through when you find out that I let you go.
I won't let you down, Magpie. You're the last fellow in the world I'd do that to. You know that. Give you my word. Benson!
After the professor threw his knife on the ground, I picked it up. Now they're looking for the Puma instead of me.
Did you get anything?
Well, the book and the map he was reading are in there.
Why, you locoed old fool. This is the same Indian writing that's on the bases. I can't read it. And you've knifed the only man that could.
Well, I've done what you paid me to do. It is your fault. You should have made Professor Willis tell you what he said before you shot him 6 years ago.
I told you never to mention that.
I forgot, Luke. I won't say it again. No, we don't. We ain't licked. I know how to get the treasure.
Well, talk and talk quick.
The girl, Link, she knows how to read that writing. I heard her tell the Puma.
If you're lying, you'll wish I'd choked you. Where are they heading for next?
They was heading for Snake Wells. With the professor going, they might turn back.
No. With all that gold at the end of her trail, she ain't turning back. The rest of the boys will be here tomorrow, and we're raiding Snake Wells for that girl. I reckon with the right kind of persuading, she'll read that writing for us all right. You get back there and keep your eye on her.
Yes, sir.
Oh, old one. I bet you my life I know what you are here. These people on the desert, they know they can't get along without El Puma. So that old rooster is sending you for me, eh?
Well, that old rooster, you call him, is dead.
Why you make this joke with me?
Well, it ain't any joke when they found your knife stuck in his back.
Mine? But El Puma is not... Oh, he's beginning to look like the lightning strike twice in the same place, huh? Where you go now, old one?
Well, I was just going down to Snake Wells to sell this book to Miss Marion. It's the diary I found down by the South Trail.
Is it something you find and something you can sell? Maybe I'll look at him. Maybe I'll buy him, too. I don't know. I can't read him.
Well, that Indian writing in there tells where a lot of buried treasures hid.
This is telling you where there's money's buried. Oh, well, I can't read him, but maybe I'll buy him anyway.
Sure, and Miss Marion can tell you what it says. But you'll have to get down there before Link Benson does.
Link Benson?
Yeah, a fella from down Indian country way told me he was riding the kidnapper.
What this fellow Benson want from these people?
Well, I don't know nothing about that.
What has Benson got to do with these? You don't know?
No, I don't know a thing about that.
You are my friend for bringing me this book anyway. I will make you reach for these. Pedro, vénganse aquí. Now, old one, this is all for you. Pedro will keep him, though, until you've done what I told you.
That's more dinero than I've seen for 20 years. I'll do anything you say.
That's the one, my friend. Now, all you got to do is go first to the Snake Wells.
You say the killer was alone?
He sure was when I left him down near Twin Buttes.
That's all I want to know.
Marion, your courage in wanting to carry on has made me very ashamed of the petty attitude I've taken toward you. Please forgive me.
Father gave his life trying to restore these treasures to the world. I know he'd want me to carry on. I only hope we can get it in time.
We will. The diary is absolutely worthless to that half-breed murderer, and the sheriff will be with us soon. You remember the directions well enough to guide us, don't you?
I just got word that El Puma was in the vicinity. Don't worry about us. You just get El Puma. I'll take care of her.
Sorry, I've got to do this, old pal.
Now, this is what I get for trusting a double-crosser like you.
I know what you're thinking, Magpie. And if you were right, I wouldn't have bothered to rope you off that horse. I'd have just thrown a gun on you.
Now, that'd have been too easy. You'll likely stick a knife in my back like you did the professor.
You know what my idea about that job is? I figure that old Dobie did that for Benson.
Don't tell me any more of your lies. What are you going to do with me?
Oh, Pedro will be along after a while and take you to my hideout. I've got a job to do, and I don't want you to spoil it.
Someday I'll help hang you, Bill Carson.
Magpie, I wish I could make you believe me.
You dirty double-crosser.
All right, pal.
Try out you.
Sounds like somebody riding hard.
Gee, I hope it's Magpie.
Wait.
It's El Puma.
Stay where you are.
Oh, put away the toy, senor. I've only come here for my knife. I lose him when I am in your cap the last time. Maybe somebody find him, you know?
You would kill an old man and then come back for the knife you did it with.
Careful, senor. Sometime you're going to insult me too many.
Yeah, well, I'll just hold you for the sheriff.
Hold it. Somebody's liable to get hurt. Nobody is going to get hurt. Nobody is going to get killed. All one. You get a horse for you and the senorita.
I might have known you'd be too cowardly to come here without help. Where are you taking me?
You will pardon me, little flower, but there is a bad hombre coming to this camp for taking you away. And Cuba thinks maybe so when he gets here, you are not going to be found, huh?
You're lying and you'll not get away with it.
All one. Ándale, pronto. Now, senorita, you will get on the horse. It is best for you.
El Puma took Marion. They headed through those rocks.
Come on, men. We've got to get her.
What are you going to do?
Look. That is Senor Benson. Now, all one, you will work for this little sack of gold that Pedro holds for you. You will take the senorita and follow this road over the hill. El Puma will teach Senor Benson how to chase the wild goose, no? Vamos.
There goes El Puma. Looks like somebody cashed in. We better get land up the stake wells. Pronto.
Forgive me, little flower, for being so late. But El Puma does not like to talk to business on such a beautiful morning.
Why have you brought me here?
There is work for you to do, little flower.
My father's diary.
You will read this funny writing for me, no?
I will not.
Maybe El Puma make you change your mind. Maybe I killed this fellow Magpie. You still say no? Then maybe I will have my men bring this Dr. Leonard here. Pedro can talk to him with my whip. You still say no?
You wouldn't dare.
El Puma will dare anything.
There you are, and I hope you're satisfied.
Why, this is the country of the broken mesa. Oh, I know that country very well. There's many times I've camped there. This is great for me, you know. Oh, so you do not like our company, eh? You want to leave El Puma? Oh, little flower. But you will never know what a beautiful days you have made these for me. You can go right away. Pedro, you will get a couple of horses. Now we will tie loose these magpies. My friend, you are really tied up, eh? Well, I'll be dinged busted. Link Benson's been sitting on that gold for 2 years and didn't even know it.
Something's up. It's old Dobie on a horse. Hello, Dobie. What's up?
What do I get if I take you to the Indian treasure?
We split. Let's have it. South end of Broken Mesa. Plumb under our noses. Dig out 3 small stones from under a large boulder. I know that spot. All right, men. Get them tools before the sheriff finds out what's happened. Sheriff.
Marion, are you all right?
Of course I am.
He sure was exhausted when we picked him up out on the desert looking for us. So where's that El Puma hombre?
He's headed for Broken Mesa, and we'd better hit leather.
Come on, you two.
That must be it. We leave our horses here. This must be it, boys. All right, get to work.
horses and reach my cave, we're safe. Come on.
company, Link. I've been hit. That's right, Link. Now get on your feet. Everything's under control, boys, but you better see how old Dobie is.
Are you all right, Dobie? Who did it?
Benson got me. Like he did Professor Willis. That's what I'm doing. Oh, I want you.
Who killed Professor Lloyd?
He made me do it. He paid me for it.
I didn't. He's lying. I didn't do it, I tell you.
Yes, he did. Search the cave and you can prove it.
Search the cave, Leonard.
Not so fast. Well, Miss Marion, it's taken me 6 long years to solve this case. Magpie, do you think I might get my old job back now?
If you're able to get around after I get even with you for leaving me tied up for a couple of days.
Hey, don't muss him up before I can sign up all his devil riders as deputies. You better get along now and testify against this hombre.
Well, young lady, you remember one time El Puma used to tell you that maybe sometime these fellows change a little bit, eh?
CC and swell, too.
Well, good luck to you both.
Bye.
Adios, my friend.
Have him come in.
Private Evans, come in, please.
Yes, sir. Sit down, Evans. I want to talk to you. Understand you're leaving us.
Yes, sir. I finally got my papers, and I'm going home. Good old Wyoming.
Little better than Tarawa, huh?
In the jungles of the Philippines. That was the longest 3 years of my life. But it would have been a lot worse if I hadn't had the memory of the most wonderful country in the world to think about. You know, Doc, no matter how bad it got, I always knew that someday I'd be going back.
Evans, I'm going to give this to you straight. That occasional blurring you've been complaining of, I'm afraid there's nothing we can do for it. You're gradually losing your sight. In time, months, a year, perhaps sooner, you'll be blind. By comparison, you're more fortunate than some of the others. At least you know what's coming. You can prepare for it. You can stay on here, take a course in Braille, our course of study and training for the blind, and when you leave, we'll see that you get a seeing-eye dog. I know. It's hard to take. But when you do leave and return home, you'll be prepared to properly care for yourself.
Braille? Training for the blind? A seeing-eye dog? What use would a seeing-eye dog be in a country where a man judges the distance by the horizon? Where a man can ride all day without seeing another soul? Where the only creatures that live inside are caged birds? What use would a seeing-eye dog be on a branding job or a cattle roundup? No thanks, Doc. If it's all the same to you, I'll settle for a one-way ticket to Laramie. According to what you've told me, there isn't much time left. Every second has to count. From now on, all I want to see is where every tree and every leaf and every blade of grass is in the country I love.
As you wish, Evans. The choice is yours. Maybe not practical from a medical viewpoint.
Doc, whatever reports you have to put through on me, please hurry them.
Sure, I know. Wonderful country, Wyoming. I was up there once myself. Never seemed to be able to forget it. Don't worry. I'll arrange for that ticket immediately.
Thank you, sir. Hello, Dad.
Welcome home. Thank goodness you're all right. You look great.
I feel great. You know, you don't look so bad yourself.
Thanks. I got a big surprise for you. A Jeep.
A Jeep?
Ain't she a beauty? A real bargain. War surplus.
Well, that makes me feel right at home.
I kind of thought it would. You might find it a little strange at the ranch at first, without your mother being around. It was hard losing her while you were overseas.
When I got your cable, we've been deep in the thick of it for days. I made up my mind that if I ever got out of that scramble, I'd spend the rest of my days with you.
I missed you, Lon. We need you bad at the ranch, and from now on I'll be dependent on you a lot. Yancey and Lem are both laid up on account of a wild horse that we finally corralled. Near killed both of them.
Watch it, will you, Dad?
Yeah, thanks. This is a good car, Lon.
Misses all the bumps.
Yeah, I can see that.
Hello, Lem.
Howdy. Mighty nice to have you back.
My boy, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you, both of you. I thought you were a cinch for the Army, Lem.
So did I. I was all set to go in, but I couldn't pass my physical.
The Army couldn't stand competition from sideshows. Ever see a bow-legged, pigeon-toed cowboy with flat feet? Keep away from that animal. I don't want you laid up, too. That's Chuck, the new hand. He does everything the hard way.
Chuck's all right. Ordinarily, he's a good hand. It's just that wild animal. And he's just sealed his doom. I was willing to give him another chance, but not now. I'm going to get my gun.
He's a mighty good-looking horse.
Don't let the looks fool you. He's the funnest critter we ever had on the place.
I like his fire. Steady, boy. Steady.
He's asking for trouble. Lon, get out of there while you got a chance.
Ah, let him alone. I always said he had a way with horses.
But that animal's local.
What's his name?
Boys call him Starlion. He got that name when he was running wild in the open country because the boys could see him so well at night. He knows these parts backers.
Just look at that horse. He's not only mean, but tricky. He's just baiting Lon so he can get him in that corner and stomp him to death.
Mom, get out of there!
You think you're pretty bunch of boys. I used to think I was pretty tough, too. You're not going to go cutting up just because they're all expecting you to, are you? You just take it easy. We'll get along fine. After all, you know, you and I've got something in common. I know what it is to be doomed, too. Starlight. Star and light. Say, you've given me an idea. A star does kind of light the way, doesn't it? What you need is a friend right now. And I know I'm going to need one later on. Why don't we get together, huh? Go ahead and sniff around a little. I'm not going to hurt you.
When Lon turns his back, that horse will kill him.
I don't know why we're so rough with you boys. I guess you can put away the gun, Dad. That horse can be handled.
Not by me. I don't want any part of him.
Neither do I.
Then that makes it simple. I need a horse, so I'll take him.
You're making a mistake, Lon. He's unpredictable and dangerous. As a colt, he was no good. Before we even had a chance to break him, he fought his way into the hills and turned completely wild. It took us 2 years to capture him.
Only to find he was plumb loco.
Even his sire was violent and stubborn.
You remember his father, Outlaw. He never could be broken and finally had to be shot.
Well, that's no reason to condemn him. He didn't choose his father. Dad, you wouldn't punish me for something you did, would you?
No. No, son, I wouldn't.
I'll start breaking him tomorrow. Yes, sir. You and I are going to get along fine.
Seeing things? Or has he already got a hold on that horse?
Oh, you're seeing all right. He's out there every morning at dawn working with that animal.
Just wait till he steps up into the saddle, and then you're going to see the fireworks start.
Yeah, there's bad blood in that horse. Sooner or later it's going to show up.
This is something you're going to have to get used to, boy. There'll be plenty of time for you to kick up your heels when we get out in the hills, your old stomping grounds. That's where you'll take over. And maybe even teach me a few things. But not now, boy. Not now.
I told you he had a way with horses.
And that was a tough horse. Lon's got what it takes, I guess.
I still wouldn't trust that critter.
He'll be ready for schooling pretty soon. Swell with calves, too.
You done wonders with him, son. I've got to hand it to you.
Always in a hurry. You'd think he had a race against time instead of taking that horse out for a ride.
Yeah, he's covered that road so many times that you think he was training Starlight to carry him with his eyes closed.
What is it? So that's it. You've been keeping things from me. That must be your family. Is that why you wanted to stay in the hills? Well, I don't suppose there's any harm in a little visit, providing one thing. You've got to come back when I whistle. You're not afraid of anything, are you, boy? Any other horse would have gone into a panic at the sight of that snake, but not you. I should have your courage.
All right, Jesse James, you can take off your mask now.
Hello. You must be from the Indian Head Dude Ranch.
Are you one of those fortune tellers who knows all and tells all?
Nope, this one was easy. I could tell from the brand on your horse where you're from, and judging from the distance to there, you must be lost.
Your calculations are quite correct, my dear Watson. I'm a tenderfoot, as green as they come, and I am lost. My name is Jean Barton. I'm the new nurse at the Dude Ranch.
I'm Lon Evans. We have the adjoining ranch.
Would you mind showing me the trail? I think once I get back on it, I could find my way.
I'll do better than that. I know a shortcut.
Well, maybe if we hurry, we could make it in time for lunch. You would be my guest, wouldn't you?
I can't think of any reason why I shouldn't. Come on, this way.
Where's Jean, Tom?
That's what I'd like to know. We had a luncheon date, and she isn't here yet. She went out on the trail early this morning. I'm getting worried.
Oh, I wouldn't worry too hard if I were you. If she'd been thrown from her horse, the stable would be the first to know it. Those nags come back like homing pigeons.
Howdy, Mr. Evans. I'll take your horse.
No, thanks, Whitey. If it's all the same to you, I'd like to leave Starlight here.
Gene, thank goodness you're all right. You sure had me worried.
I'm sorry, Tom. But you can thank Mr. Evans that I'm back at all. Oh, Lon, this is Tom Adams.
Hello. Glad to know you.
How do you do?
If you ever get tangled up, he can untangle you. Legally, of course. He's an attorney from Los Angeles.
Somehow Jane got herself lost. Luckily, I happened along.
Not bad, rescuing the lady in distress. Always works in storybooks.
Now, all we have to wait for is a happy ending.
I hope you're right.
They stop serving lunch in a few minutes. Maybe we'd better order.
Oh, certainly. I asked Mr. Evans to join us. I knew you wouldn't mind.
Not at all. I never did think 3 was a crowd.
I'm awfully glad you accepted my invitation. It's nice knowing a real rancher.
Thanks. It's nice knowing city folks.
I haven't always lived in the city. I was born and raised in the West. My family moved east when I started nurse's training. But way down deep inside, I've always wanted to return. The wide open spaces seem to do something for me. I love it.
Me too. I guess that's why I'll always stick to ranching.
I envy you. I dread going back to a job in the city when the season's over. I had enough regimentation in the service.
You were in the service?
I was a nurse in the Army.
Did you see any action?
That's what I asked for, so they sent me to the Pacific.
The Pacific? The Philippines?
Yes, why?
Well, I was there for 3 years.
Really? Maybe we were on the same island at the same time. When were you there?
43, 44, and 45.
That's when I was there.
And that's when I was in Europe. Well, you two seem to have quite a lot in common. Excuse me. I'll see you later, Gene.
I hope I haven't broken up anything serious.
Oh, don't be foolish. Tom has never meant anything more to me than just a good friend. And for your information, he has no reason to act so possessive.
Well, let's forget about him and get back to us.
That was pretty bad, wasn't it?
Well, you're getting better. A few more lessons and you'll be diving like an expert.
Oh, thank you.
Funny how her diving got so bad all of a sudden. 3 days ago, she was teaching me.
The style is getting worse, but her tactics are improving.
Let's try it again. Now, hold your arms out.
Like this?
No. Like this. Go ahead. For such a talkative gal, you're kind of quiet tonight.
For the first time in my life, I feel I don't have to rack my brain for just something to say. Words just don't seem necessary.
If this keeps up, I know what I'm going to do.
Maybe I can help you. The train schedule's in the lobby.
Excuse me.
Lon, why were you wearing that blindfold the day we met?
I was playing blind man's bluff.
Alone?
Yes, alone.
I'd like very much to play that game, too. I think I can find my way now without getting lost.
Good night. Oh, he's got to go help him. He'll make better time without carrying me. Go on, go on. Attack yet, Starlight. I thought for a moment that was it.
Far be it for us to be butting in on the subject, Mr. Evans, but we think that Lon ain't like he used to be.
War has a way of changing men, Yancey.
Well, blame it on the war if you like, but he spends too much time with that horse he's taken a fancy to. Why, you'd think that his very life depended on that animal.
And he's nothing but an expensive hay-eating pet.
Yeah, somebody ought to make him try and see things right.
Lem, I happened to hear what you said about Starlight. I'd like to make a little correction. He's not an expensive hay-eating pet. Just because he's got 2 strikes against him, why don't you stop trying to put in a third?
You can't tell me nothing about that horse. I know him. He tried to kill me. Lucky I got off with just a broken arm.
That's before he was broke. Since then, he hasn't once shown the wildness of his father or the violence of his mother. He's not only intelligent, he's obedient and quick to learn.
You can think what you like, but I wouldn't trade my Pinto for 2 like him.
Well, why make it 2? You proved you couldn't even handle 1 like him.
Getting pretty late, boys. I'm turning in.
Yeah, me too. Come on, Lem.
There she is, Starlight, just like she promised. But I'm afraid there'll be no more games from now on. Anyway, it wouldn't be fair to look into her eyes and see nothing, just darkness. Somehow she seemed to help me forget for a little while. But no more.
Something's wrong. My Pinot's gone. And that crazy white stallion broke out of his corral. Throw me your horse, Chuck.
Sure thing, Lem. Take it.
Too late. Your Pinot's dead. Wait a minute, Lamb. You can't shoot that horse.
He killed my Pinot. That's the best stock horse I ever had. I have every right to kill him.
You got nothing of the kind. This is going to be reported to Mr. Evans.
Well, while we're about it, we'll have that killer with us. Come on. Mr. Evans, that was the work of Starlight. He broke out of his corral. I guess he just couldn't behave any longer. Boss, you just can't trust bad blood.
If Longa's my son. Yancey, he isn't. Well, if he was, I certainly wouldn't let him expose himself to a horse that's got a loco streak in him sure as shooting.
All right. All right. I'll have a talk with him. Lon, I'm afraid you're allowing your sentiment for that animal to outweigh your better judgment. In my opinion, he's got to go.
Nobody's going to make me think Starlight's mean till I've seen it with my own eyes.
Well, isn't Lem or Yancey's word enough for you?
Sure. They didn't see the actual fight, though. All they saw was what was left of one. Sure, I admit the Pinto was killed by another horse, but that doesn't mean Starlight did it. Look at him. If he'd have been in the type of fight they described, he'd have marks all over him. I've examined him from head to toe. He hasn't got a scratch. Even a criminal's innocent until he's proven guilty.
Okay, son. You win. But the next time that critter makes a bad move, out he goes.
Hello, Chuck.
Hi, Lon.
The boys tell me you're from Tucson.
Yeah, I've lived all over these parts. Kind of like to move around. Get itchy feet, you know.
Have you ever heard of an outlaw horse called the Black Phantom?
Boy, I sure have. He's the leader of a wild herd. He's raided this country from here to Arizona.
Did you ever see him?
No. I only heard about him. They say he's a killer, though. He raids and steals mares, and then always disappears. Completely vanishes somewhere in the canyons.
I've heard plenty of stories about him. Mostly legendary.
Yeah, the last I heard of him, he'd been killed somewhere in Arizona.
But you don't know for sure?
No, only hearsay. Nobody knows anything for sure about him. That's why they call him the Black Phantom.
I know one thing for sure. He actually existed. I saw him once in a roundup a long time ago, but I'd know him any place. And only recently I saw a herd of wild horses in between our place and the Indian Head Dude Ranch.
Yeah, maybe he was leading it. They say he always had a herd with him.
If I could prove that the Black Phantom is in this territory, it'll clear Starlight. And I'm not going to stop until I find out.
Knowing how you feel about Starlight, I sure hope you can do it.
Keep what I've told you to yourself, huh?
You can depend on me.
Hello, Gene.
I told you I could find my way. It seems you're the one who got lost. Or maybe you forgot all about me.
No, I hadn't forgotten. We've been pretty busy at the ranch. This is the first chance I've had to get on the trail.
I haven't got a blindfold on. I came here with my eyes open. Let's not pretend anymore.
What are you driving at?
Lon, I know the truth. I've known it all the time. Ever since the first time I saw you, you had the blindfold on.
You should have left it on.
No, Lon. I've looked into eyes like yours before, during the war. You're going blind. I know what it means. I also know that's why you've been avoiding me.
And you've waited?
Hoping you'd come back. If you hadn't, I was going to the ranch looking for you.
I'm not one of your patients. I don't want your pity.
Pity? I don't pity you. I don't even feel sorry for you. I'll reserve that for the boys who really need it. The ones who are a lot worse off than you. Men who can't a girl in their arms because they haven't any arms. I've shown all the initiative in the first round. I'll be waiting to see what you do in the second.
She's some gal, Starlight.
How is he, Mr. Evans?
He's still unconscious. The doctor says there's nothing serious to worry about, but that's a bad bump on his head.
What do you want to do with the horse?
I never want to see that animal again. Do it your own way.
I saw him. I saw the Black Phantom. That's how it happened.
Oh, what happened?
I knew if I could prove that Black Stallion was in this territory, it'd clear Starlight. I was getting a drink of water at the spring when I saw him. When I ran to Mount Starlight to go after him, I slipped. That's all I remember. How did I get home?
We brought you here. Jean came to us for help.
Jean? Turn on the lights, will you, Dad?
Why?
The lights are on, Lon.
son?
It's okay, Dad. I knew it was coming. Doctor at the hospital told me before I left. Been waiting a long time for this. Longer than I expected.
There are other doctors. And we'll have the best.
Oh, it's no use. Now you know why I've trained Starlight. He's to be my eyes.
The doctor was here. Said for you to lie quietly.
Never mind what he said. I'm feeling all right now. How long was I out?
For some time.
It must be late. I'll have one of the boys drive you home. We can send your horse over tomorrow.
There's no use protesting that it still makes a difference between us. It doesn't now, and it never did.
You're talking of the stuff that dreams are made of. You'd better go.
Don't turn away from me, Lon.
Can't you understand? You'd be wasting your looks on a man who'll never see again.
You know what I look like.
As if I could ever forget.
Then you'll never see me grow old. You'll remember me as I am now.
At least, I won't be a burden to you, Jean. With Starlight's help, I'll get along as well as anybody.
Of course you will.
Thank you, Nancy. It's no use. No use pretending any longer. A complete helpless invalid. Nancy, if Miss Jean should come today, tell her I'm not here. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Hello, Jane.
Hello.
I'm certainly glad you came over. Lon needs you.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. He's shutting me out now. I know it's because he doesn't want me to see him like this. Pent up in the house, being led around like a child.
I know. He's been like that ever since we told him about Starlight.
You've got to find that horse and bring him back. If you don't, all Lon's hopes, his plans, will have gone for nothing. Don't you see, Mr. Evans, it's more than just his health involved, but his spirit and his will to live.
You're right, Jean. I hadn't thought of it like that. We'll find that horse if we have to scour the whole countryside.
Any sign of him?
Didn't see a thing.
Keep looking. Any luck?
Not a thing.
Try the South Pass.
He wasn't around the South Pass.
Well, let's head back to the ranch.
Nancy, did you hear that?
It's him, all right. It's your horse, standing out there as pretty as can be. No bridle, no saddle, no nothing, Mr. Evans.
Starlight. You've come back to me. You knew I needed you, didn't you, boy?
Well, I'll be. He must have come in by himself.
You ain't gonna let him ride him, are you, Mr. Evans?
I think Lon knows what he's doing. I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it in my own eyes. He'll be all right.
Mr. Evans, the whole north end is on fire. Your cattle will be trapped if you don't work fast. I sent my men on ahead to help.
I don't think we lost a head. The fire turned to the south section. That's where Lon was headed. If he's on the trail, he's beyond our help. We can't get through.
He's got one chance. If that horse he's riding has got half the brains that Lon gives him credit for, he'll carry him out through the old tunnel that leads to the meadow.
Sure. There's no fire on that side of the ridge.
Well, all we can do is hope. You can't do no good sitting here in the trail. Let's go back to the ranch. That's the first place he'd head for.
I don't know how you did it, but here we are. Sounds like we run into something. I'm afraid I can't help you. But at least I can give you one break.
You know, folks all over Wyoming are talking about the CNI horse Starlight. They say he's well named, too. He does light the way, doesn't he?
Yeah, and for a guy without his sight, that boy sure gets around.
Yeah, and the $3,000 reward he got for getting the Black Phantom didn't hurt him none either.
Believe me, they don't come any finer than that girl. If he don't pop the question soon, I'm liable to do it for him. She can join my family anytime.
Oh, this is wonderful news. You remember that doctor I worked with when I was in the service? You know, the one who performed that miraculous eye operation.
Yes, you told me about him.
Well, by a very strange coincidence, he's written me that he's going to spend his vacation here in Wyoming. He feels sure he can restore your sight.
That is good news.
I know this doctor won't miss.
And if he does, I've still got Starlight and you.